The candle. Fine. Oh, keep singing,
I need
Barb.
to,
Good way
I
to
need to
bring in
find
the
out who
show.
did. I need to find out who did that countdown, by the way.
That's a good one. Guys, we've got a cool short show. Please start sharing this out there. I hope you guys enjoyed Changemakers. Right now, we're going to talk about the Great American Summit coming to Dallas and also things going on in this country. Did Dave just pass gas?
He probably did.
I think he
I
did.
might pass
sounded like
out
it.
here in a minute.
Have what? No.
Speaking of gas, I decided I'm going to start making the hashtag for this event, hashtag GAS 2022, because we are we're pedal to the metal, hitting the gas. Anyways, so we're going
Gas
to be talking
rocks.
about that. But we have Ryan Weaver down there. We are very excited to have him. He's part of the event. I see the numbers finally starting to go up because we are on all the different channels. We're on Cash's channel. I put this on everything. Why not? Because we're going to be talking about some stuff going on in the country right now, and we're going to be talking about how we're going to start to fix it with the Great American Summit. If you're ready to kick the tires and light the fires, share this video, put some comments in the chat box, and let's get it started. That's right, ladies and gents. We've got me. That's Anthony Russo. You probably know who I am. If you're watching on one of these channels, we've got Ryan Weaver and Barb Allen talking about what's going on in the country and the event coming up, the Great American Summit. Welcome them to the stage. Barb, Dave, good to have you. Ryan, great to finally meet you in person-ish and this, whatever. Ryan, tell everybody who you are. Tell everybody about your background and what you do.
I'm a former Black Hawk Aviator. I'm currently a country music artist, but former Black Hawk Aviator, member of a 2-time Gold Star family, retired with almost 21 years on active duty, combat veteran, and now I do motivational speaking and concerts.
Love it. And Barb and Dave, if anybody don't know who you are, please explain to everybody what's cracking with you guys.
Jump in, Barb.
Jump in. So yeah, we're the founders of American Snippets, which is our own patriotic platform. We started a few years back when we noticed the divisiveness in the country, not really knowing exactly where we were going, but just knowing we were going. And we felt pulled to do this, and it's led us to amazing places over the years. And it's all coming together in our Great American Summit, where we actually get to bring people we featured on American Snippets live together in the same space. And it's been a wild ride, but this is where it's all leading to. We found this way to add purpose to patriotism. We're not going to just sit back and let fear and frustration immobilize us anymore or consume us. We're going to take that and channel it and make all this stress our ally instead of our enemy, right? And we're going to do great things together in Texas.
That's right. January 7th and 8th. What's really cool about this event, and we're starting it right. We're going to talk about Omicron. What are we going to talk about tonight? What everybody appeals to the masses right now is the quote unquote new variant or lack thereof. We're going to talk about it, and part of why we talk about current events, why Barb and Dave talk about, why I talk about my show, why Ryan does these killer songs, and speaks to people about what's going on in this country, is to hopefully wake people up to the fact that we actually are still we the people. We still have the power. And that's why I put this on Cash's Streetlights page and his other page, because really he doesn't want to talk politics anymore. As you guys know, he is in jail. But what he does want to talk about is ways to actually make the country better. This isn't about left or right. This is about how do we take what the Constitution gave us and continue to live as the best country in the world, because we still are, plain and simple, the best country in the world. So please, guys, put some comments in the chat box. Keep sharing this out there. Let's break that the shackles of the conservative algorithm, if we may. Ryan, so we're talking Omicron. We were in a group text last night just about the V in general and what's going on and how you have these new variants. What do you talk about in your circles regarding all of a sudden since Friday, all this hellacious variant has now hit the streets?
Barbie, you want to go first? Or you want me to start?
Yeah, I think I can sum mine up really quick. I think they have an eye on 2022, and this is that how they're lining it up to, you know, increase the mail-in ballots and all that same bullshit that we already been through. This is what they're going to use to lock everybody down before the elections, to go through all that same crap we've been through. They're just going to repeat it, but they're going to use it to somehow try to give themselves the advantage in the election again, specifically through more mail-in ballots. I think that's the primary goal here, because once they do that and they get away, if they succeed in that plan, and when I say they, I mean the far left, who's been doing this crap all along. If that is successful, then we think we're struggling now. Whew.
I think Omicron, I think it's a teaser because it's too far away from the election. They're manipulating a way to keep seeing what kind of control and how they can do stuff. And look at what's going on in Germany right now and Australia. They're proposing mandatory Vs for everyone. So it's this, what can they get away with to the point where, you know, where can America all of a sudden still be America, but lose some of that? And mail-in balloting's huge. I'll talk more about that in a second. But Ryan, what about you?
Well, I will tell you, there are a ton of things. I actually did a podcast called Truth. We're starting a podcast with a great friend of mine, and we did a whole bunch on this today. First and foremost, everybody that they first tested on this were fully V'd. Sorry, we're fully V'd. Second off, it's in Australia right now, which you can't get in or out of Australia without the V and a negative PCR test. You can't get in or out of, but it's there. So how did it get there? The outside of that, they skipped the XI version of the variant.
Greek letters, yeah.
They skipped the XI because they were afraid that it was going to offend where it came from. So now it's a different name. And I just posted on my Instagram. You guys can go check it out at Ryan Weaver Country. No joke, on AccuWeather reporting. They do AccuWeather of weather of all things. They put a post out today. While we were doing our podcast, it came across my co-host phone that AccuWeather posted an article that was dated November 10th that said the first case of Omicron was in California on November 10th. Now you can't find that article. She screenshotted it. Actually, she recorded it on her phone. She recorded it on her phone, showing her swiping straight to it before it wasn't just a screenshot. So they already knew about this a while ago. So all of this faux outrage, when you have the doctors over in South Africa saying that it's got 16 out of 19 cases, the first 16 out of 19 cases were asymptomatic, and the 4 that they tested in the first place were obviously are fully V'd. We've just got another. The mu variant apparently didn't work. Right. So now we got to have the big name. They got a really cool. It's almost like an Avengers name. It's like an Avenger enemy name. You know. So now they're fighting. You know, Omicron.
It's like Ocean's 13 when they shook the building. You know, like. Hit them again. Like they keep pushing it as far as possible. And really quick to go on the mail-in thing before I have Dave go. It's interesting. I was listening to Joe Rogan and Tim Pool. It was about a 2-week-old thing. And Tim Pool did a great job explaining from a non-biased perspective why mail-in balloting helps Democrats so much more. Take fraud out of it. Take fraud completely out of it. They're dense. The canvassing is so much more successful because if you're in a city, you can hit 100 people in a day. If you're in rural areas, which is the predominant area of the conservatives, 100 people could take a week to go and get those mail-in ballots for the elderly or whatever. And apparently based on his knowledge of canvassing, because he used to do that a lot for all different parties, Tim Pool is definitely a little bit more left. That's now become right because he's... Anyways, that is just a much more successful path by doing it in cities, and that's why it's so dangerous to do this mass mail-in balloting. So, anyways, Dave, what do you think?
Well, to go off of that, like I'm not opposed to mail-in balloting. What I'm opposed to is the mass amount of it, and then what happens is the canvassing, and it's basically ballot harvesting, right? I don't think you should have people go door to door to pick up someone's vote.
Yeah.
Like, it's either mail in or it's not. So let people have their vote and mail it in. People shouldn't be going door to door to pick up ballots and then bringing them in a big satchel somewhere and dropping them off. Like, it's the individual's responsibility to vote and to cast that vote. And it should be their responsibility to make sure that vote gets to where it needs to go to, not giving it off to someone else.
Yeah.
So that's my thought.
I personally have a problem with mail-in balloting. I don't have a problem with absentee balloting because you have to request it and you also have to verify that you're a legal voter, because the mail-in balloting system in itself, outside of what you were just talking about as far as the canvassing is concerned, you don't have to prove that you're actually a legal voter for the mail-in balloting system in many states.
I have with it the way it exists. Like, the concept of it is okay, but they need to fix the issues and the problems with it. To your point, with there should be verification of signature and identity and all those other things to make sure that the vote is valid.
That sounds racist.
Yeah. So in terms of like the transformer variant Omicron, I think it's less a voting thing. And look, we follow the money. To me, this is all about the money. Like, Pfizer's making record profits. All these companies are making record profits. Their shareholders and the corporate, they're not going to let those profits just go away. So they're going to keep this thing pumping. They're going to have a new virus, a new strain, all these different things, a new variant, and it's going to continue. Look, people need to realize that this is never going away, ever. It'll always be here, and the people will always try to use. Look, Democrats have a saying: never let a good crisis go to waste, right? And if they just let this thing slide and go away and people live their lives, they're letting it go to waste. Meanwhile, these companies can make record profits. They can target a new group that might need to get vaccinated. Like, first it wasn't
Feed.
What's that?
Feed,
right?
Feed,
yeah.
First it was adults, right? And the people who are high at risk. And then all of a sudden we're going after our kids and teenagers, and now it's kids who are between 5 and 11. Next, it'll be toddlers and babies, and each variant they'll try to say, hey, this affects this group of people the most, so we got to create a new jab for it, and that's how I see this playing out.
You have to look across the board, and it's absolutely insane, the timing, and when I look at people that are like, no, it's for the good of the people. Like, they're doing it for the good of the people. Like, you have to look at the timing. The timing is so blatantly obvious. Hearing Fauci, the V works. It doesn't work as great, but you won't go to the hospital. And then the week that the boosters were approved, Fauci goes, we're noticing a lot more VED people at the hospital after they have completely, for 3.5 months, the CDC was not publishing since July any real information on how many people that were at the percentages. We were still sticking with that 11-to-1 number and the 10-to-1 number. It disappeared, and then all of a sudden, the week the boosters were eligible, which therefore makes it a money play, less nefarious, more money based. And all of a sudden he goes, this waning efficacy is a problem. You're gonna be in the hospital, which most people would go, oh, it's really not working. But instead, it was a sales tactic to go, time for the boosters. It's sketchy as shit.
So check this out. I just posted also on my Instagram. I follow a guy named Terminal CWO. If you follow that guy on social media, he's great. He's handling a lot of the military side of things, what the military's forcing our military service members to do. The block on the 55-year block for Pfizer's information on the ADRs, adverse drug reactions, it just got released. 33 pages of their ADRs just got released, and I just posted it on my page.
Yeah.
It's going to blow your mind. It's going to blow your mind. Any other V that has ever come out with a minuscule fraction of the ADRs that we've seen with this. And hey, I'm 100% pro let anybody make their own decisions and do what they want to do.
Same.
I'm not going to force it on anybody, but you need the information to make an educated decision on what you want to do for yourself. And the information has only been one-sided. And the thing is, something else that we just talked about today. When you have a drug that is got the emergency use authorization or a V that's got the EUA on it. Let me ask you a question. What is the legal side of it? What do they say that an EUA is used for? If there is not an alternate, drug to be able to help it. So as you were just talking about, Merck just came out with their brand new miracle pill that now the FDA is apparently siding with and saying, oh yeah, this is a great thing. It's interesting that Merck is the same company that denounced ivermectin, that they were
I'm
sorry?
It rhymes with schmerschmectin.
Yeah. I'm sorry, we can't say it. I don't know what we can't say. Sorry. So they denounced what they denounced what they were distributing at a Walmart blue light special Kmart deals.
Yeah.
As far as it was concerned. So now they came out with Molnupiravir, which I can say Molnupiravir because it's a cool thing to say.
Yeah.
At 700 times the cost, I think it is. And now that's the new miracle COVID fighter. Well, if they've got that now, what does that mean? Legally, you can no longer have a emergency use authorization for and mandate any kind of ease.
Yeah.
Just saying. Yeah. So what are we going to do now?
And Pfizer has a pill too, so they're not the only one with a pill.
But it hasn't been FDA approved. That's the only.
Right. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
They all affect virus replication. They have the similar properties to the schmerschmectin, and the way that they're used, it actually the additives in it that make it different than that are very similar to the protocols that people say to take with that other thing. It's about to get a little bit crazy because people are starting to stand up right now. You're starting to see it around the world. People are starting to see this, and now with this new latest faux craze, I think that I'm seeing it all over social media from the left and the right now, because there's so many people, especially as we're seeing the minority communities are standing up against it now, because in our history, our unfortunate American history, they've been used as guinea pigs. The minority community has for everything that's been going on. They're already up and aware about it, and now with this faux outrage that they've got going on, when you've got doctors that are there saying, look guys, minimal symptoms, if not asymptomatic, and you guys are going crazy across the world right now. It makes no sense. But hey, it's 4 days after we found out that it was announced, Canada already knew that they had two cases up in Canada. So anyway, I could go on and on about it because I talked about it for about an hour and a half today, but we need to talk about gas. We do. And I think that the important thing is conversations like this, realizing that we're not completely nuts by having these, by pointing out the weird things coming out. Like you brought up Merck, and before we fully move on, the funny thing about Merck is people kept explaining why the schmerschmectin didn't work because they go, why would Merck as a company loves schmerschmectin?
I keep thinking schmegma when you're going to say it.
Thank you. I was literally going to say,
I keep thinking like you're going to say schmegmectin. If you just say schmegmectin, that would be
my inspiration of it is actually when it was from the movie when rhymes with schmishmortion. So that's why I say rhymes with schmishmectin.
Oh my God.
People had this solid argument. They're like, the maker of it, Merck, is saying it does not work. So why would you still think it works? One quick link to their page, you would see that they are helping Johnson & Johnson. It's like they are assisting Johnson & Johnson in the production of the V. So it's like, I want to take the country with an event like Great American Summit and allow people to put 2 and 2 together. And for once in their life, just see that things cannot be crystal and perfect and all those different things. So I have the link on the bottom of the page, Great American Summit. Barb and Dave, obviously your event. Talk about it, tell people about it, and what's going on in Dallas.
Well, I want to piggyback real quickly in a transition kind of way, because in relation to this conversation we were just having, it's not, even just about the V and the schmegma, right, Brian? It's about the mindsets. It's about the mindsets behind it. And what I saw this post today that just made it so clear. And this is what we are combating, right? This is what so many of us are so tired of. And just it's so exhausting. There is an article, this guy, Leonard Pitts Jr., he's a syndicated columnist, he put out. I saw this posted and it had all of these people just celebrating this guy. And it's about, I'm not going to read the whole thing. It says goodbye and good riddance. And he talks about people who are leaving their jobs over the date, you know, the thing that they're told they have to do over the V. And he's like, and if you want to leave, goodbye and good riddance. We don't need you anymore. He goes on and on behalf of the rest of us, the ones who miss concerts, restaurants, and other people's faces, the ones who are sick and tired of living in pandemic time. Here's a word of response to you quitters, goodbye and good riddance. And then he goes on and he's like, if you're angry, guess what? You're not the only one. The difference is your anger is dumb and ours is not. Yours is about, and then he goes on to say about how our anger is about, you know, our perceived right to put everybody else at risk and our selfishness and all this stuff. And the article goes on, just condemning people who have the conversations like we just had, condemning us and calling us stupid and reckless and all these other horrible and insulting things. And what struck me most is that people I know, some people I know very well, and at one time were very close to, and now no longer speak to me, we're celebrating this post and saying yes and sharing this out and preach, and this is exactly it. And it's really disheartening. And if we just allow things like that for me, and I think for a lot of other people too, all that stuff can get to us so deeply, especially when you lose relationships that you actually cherished and lost and gone. And so morale goes way down. And so having this event and bringing people together who feel differently, bringing all the people together that are being shamed and ridiculed and mocked and scorned in this article together in one place to kind of assure each other, like, hey, like, I'm not actually an asshole. You're not an asshole. It's okay to ask questions. It's okay to challenge the narrative. It's okay to stand up for your rights. We're not killing people. Like, our anger is not dumb. But our anger will consume us if we don't make it productive. And I think like that article just exemplifies exactly why we have to stop focusing on trying to like tell those people to stop saying those things and just start focusing on coming together, because we're never going to stop them from saying that, right? They're never going to stop that. The fucking hens on the View are going to keep cackling all their fucking bullshit. We can say fuck, right? We
yes,
just
you
can't
can.
say the
yes,
V word.
Yeah. It's amazing. The America we live in now, you can't say the V word, but you can say fuck, shit,
they're never going to stop. So we have to just get louder and stronger and focus on ourselves and centering on ourselves and our families and our own communities. And that's how we're gonna like kind of outdo that noise. We're gonna like kind of smother that noise down with all the good that we're gonna do. But we can't do it if we don't unite and come together. And that's what this event to me is about, is giving us a place to come together and connect with people and build these relationships, not to mention everything we're going to hear from the amazing people that are coming to share their expertise and their insight and the stories of fleeing communism and coming here and building this, serving in the military, having their faces blown off, coming back to service, Ryan's incredible service and his loss. I mean, all these people who are coming to share their stories and their insight, but the fact that we all get to come together, and just by coming together, we're supporting organizations that do incredible good work in our country, because every dime is going to them. So like, that's our solution. The more I see articles like that, the more I see people that I once thought liked me, and some of them, you know, loved me, even in ways that I loved them, just make me want to double down and do this. And I'm so appreciative of you guys stepping forward and saying, yeah, you're going to be a part of it.
Yeah. And I don't know when the quote unquote conservatives or patriotism censored people became classic liberals. We've actually become, it's been such a shift in politics. We are the classical liberal. It says, think how you want to think. Just allow me to think how I want to think. And I'll tell you,
it's not even that. It's like, you know, it's ideology. This is a battle of ideologies, right? People, to Barb's point with that article, those people will never change, right? And the facts and the true science will never matter to them, because it's counterproductive to their actual ideology, right? Yeah. And this event is an ideology that is about America's core values. It's about, look, the government doesn't need to empower the people because the people are already fucking empowered, right? The government needs to get out of the way. This is about personal responsibility. This is about American dream. This is about living the life that you've always wanted to live and getting the government out of your business, right? This is about you. This is about us. This is about we, the American people, and a celebration of America and everyone that has the greatest stories of success and entrepreneurship. And like Barb said, fleeing communism and oppression, things that we're actually seeing creep into our society today, which is like blows my mind. You know, that's what this event is about, to remind people what America is all about and what it stands for, and that it is still the land of the free and a home of the brave.
Dude, my husband, Ryan's brother and brother-in-law literally gave their lives in service of this country. And Ryan served and gave a lot of himself. And so did a lot of my friends and people who are coming to this event. And I feel like we have a duty, we have an obligation to not let that service and sacrifice be for nothing. And that's what's at risk here. It's like all that courage and heroism and sacrifice and struggle is about to be washed away to nothing. And that sounds, people say that, you know, you're crazy when you say that. Oh, you're nuts. It's never going to happen. I don't even let that get to me anymore, because I know that's not true. And I know that that can't stop us from coming together. So this event is not a rally, by the way. No. It's not like an activist rally. We're going to go, we're going to march on anything, like, right. You know,
no,
it's not like that. It is more like it's an event that's designed for anybody that wants to leave their job because of any reason, really, but in particular for the V or whatever, they have a place to land. They're going to have resources and connect with people who can teach them how to build and take that thing they love and provide for their families with it, right? It's going to be about finding other people who have the same values of you and you can connect with and build relationships with and support each other's businesses and works and give each other job references. And all, I mean, amazing things are going to come of this event, not to mention the money that we're going to raise to give back to organizations that support victims. They said the Wounded Blue supports law enforcement officers. Yakubuyan's organizations support victims of human trafficking. We have Nick Vujicic's Unbound Warrior that serves veterans at, I guess, the Wounded Blue. And we have another law enforcement organization called Reboot Recovery. And we have the Got Your Back Network, which directly impacted me. So a lot of people doing a lot of really great things. And we need to like come forward and support each other in positive, productive, like impactful ways, instead of just sitting behind our keyboards and blaming everybody else for what's going on.
It's about taking action at a certain point. And the way that I've been describing it to people is, because a lot of people ask, is it like a rally? Like, no, right. I call it a mastermind of people that want to actually get our country back. And I think one of the scariest things, and you could say whatever you want about Donald Trump, but one of the scariest things that Joe Biden has said in his presidency is when he whispered in the microphone and said, we the people is the government. That is we the people. I was like, holy God, like, nobody caught this? And I think it is that time where if we start building, and I want to refer to this as a mastermind of people. And it's not just about the 25 amazing speakers and people there. The people in the audience, this is not a 10,000 person event. This is 1,000 or less.
Not yet.
Yeah, that we can actually interact with the people. Like we're going to help the people, and we're all up for ideas. There's not a single person that wants to get our country back that has the answer. Because if they did, there's a lot of money that could actually help that. We don't know. So it is one of those things where we're going to give ideas and be with really like-minded people, which is exciting to be a part of something like that.
Yeah, and especially when Patriot Pass members get that more intimate experience, because there's only about 150 of those tickets being sold.
I mean, a big reason for me why we started this whole platform and our community and the event, it's really twofold, but it's very simple. It's just, I feel like people who live in this country, it's American citizens, have really taken what they have for granted. It's easy to go about your day-to-day business and kind of take for granted what we have here, right? But when you talk to other people, and some of the people we've had on our podcast who've fled communism and oppression, and you hear stories from them, they will tell you without a doubt that this is the greatest country on earth. And so for me, I want this event to remind people, don't take your freedom for granted. Don't take, the opportunities that you have here for granted. everyone, like the American dream, it might be cliche, but people are still coming across that border every day to get that
For
piece of the American dream.
$450,000. Thank you very much,
And
Joe.
when we interviewed Rob O'Neill,
Yeah.
Barb interviewed Rob O'Neill a few months back. He's the Navy SEAL that shot Osama bin Laden. He's like, when people stop crossing the border to want to get here to live their own American dream, that's when I'll start really being concerned, right?
Yeah.
And so we just need to remind people of that.
Ryan, what's your website? What's your correct website? I put the wrong one up. What is it?
It's ryanweaver.net. Ryanweaver.net. Now, I'm super excited to tell my story. I'm super excited to network with fellow patriots, like-minded individuals, or individuals that need inspiration. I'm even more excited, I have to be honest with you. Thank you to Patch Ops. Patch Ops, one of our sponsors. I have to say this. I don't know if you can see this. This is a veteran-owned. Here it is right here up nice and close. It is a veteran-owned company, fellow veteran-owned company. Patch Ops is one of the sponsors for this. Bonnie, my great friend out in Arizona, her company is another sponsor for this. I can't wait to throw a concert. I can't wait to bring my band down there and blow the roof off the place. We're going to have I'm going to speak on Friday morning. We're going to throw a concert on Friday night. It's not a concert. When you're watching this is not background music. Everybody out there that knows me is this political commentator and social media person. I do music for a living. This is what I love to do. This is what, when Aaron died, my brother was killed in Iraq. This is that's what started my dream. Can't wait to tell everybody about that. We're going to have an amazing time on the 7th and 8th. We want everybody out there. Just come and pack the place out with great American patriots that care about the American dream. I'm proof that the American dream is real, and I'll tell my story about that. But that's what we need, and we also need sponsors. If you're out there looking, I know that this event still needs sponsors. We need folks to be able to help us make this the best possible event that we can, make this an incredible event that we can keep doing for years and years.
Yeah, and what I'm going to jump in quick because one reason that I personally would like to get our maximum, our level of tickets sold is because once we hit that level, I would like to hit that in the next week so that before Christmas, we can gift out the remaining tickets to law enforcement, first responders, and military in the Dallas area who want to come to the event. But we can't do that. We can't start gifting those tickets out till we hit that level. And we're creeping up on that, right? But we need momentum now. So anybody who's like, oh, well, I'll wait, I'll get it later. I mean, that's great. You're welcome to. But wouldn't you rather have more of an impact by doing it now? Because when you get your ticket now, you're going to help us gift a ticket down the road, and we'll be announcing when we hit that level. And so you'll know that when you got your ticket now, you helped gift these tickets to our military, law enforcement, first responders. And for instance, I just found out today we're bringing in 2 veterans who are very near and dear to me, Vietnam veterans. One is a Vietnam veteran and Gulf War veteran, William Monsoon Mimiaga, who went on to become California's Teacher of the Year and twice, and pretty much pain in the ass to people who love him, but that's because we love him. And John Baca, who is also a Vietnam veteran, Medal of Honor recipient, who was awarded that Medal of Honor because he took his helmet off, threw it on a grenade, and threw himself on top of his helmet to save his fellow, his brothers in service there. And they'll both be attending this event too. And people who are buying tickets early are helping us bring people like that into the event. Yeah. So please don't.
And if you can't attend, I mean, I would say this, I may not be, I don't want to speak out of turn, Barbara, but if you can't attend and you want to sponsor folks to come in, buy a bunch of tickets until we sell it out. Right. And that way we can start gifting at that point. That would be an amazing thing for you to do if there are some folks out there that want to buy tickets that can attend, but want to sponsor the event in that way.
Yeah, I've had a couple friends who, they're like, Dave, I'm not going to be able to make it, but I'd be happy to support you and buy some tickets if you don't donate them out. I'm like, funny you say that, because we're going to be giving away tickets to veterans and active duty military and first responders and things like that. And I would encourage you too, to Barb's point. I mean, if you're interested in this event at all, you want to be a part of something really special, you want to be part of making an impact with a bunch of other like-minded folks, just go to the website, greatamericansummit.com. There'll be a pop-up, right? You can reserve your seat for 30 days. Plus, you'll get registered into a chance to win a free ticket, a Patriot Pass. So we're going to give away a bunch of Patriot Passes as well. That's $1,776 value, $1,776 if you didn't catch that.
Thanks a lot, Bradley, for that clever
Go to
idea.
the website, drop your name and email, and register to possibly win some tickets. And you also reserve your seat for 30 days, and you'll get notified. So when we are giving away these tickets and announcing these free tickets to our veterans and our military and first responders, you'll be notified when that happens.
Couple questions. I know people ask, because you did say if somebody wants to sponsor it, should they just go buy a ticket and then worry about it later in terms of how to gift it, or should they just spend the $197 on the fundraising page?
So they can buy a ticket, and there's all different ways to do it. One, I guess the easiest way, go ahead, and I actually have been responding to emails directly when people email me about this event. I've actually had the chance to talk to people who are coming to this event. When they email me, they get tickets. So it's cool because I get to kind of connect with them before they come to the event. So send me an email, barb@americansnippets.com. Let me know that you bought the ticket and you would like to gift it to somebody, and I'll just look up your name on the ticket sales, and I'll make a note to gift it to someone, and then I'll message you back and let you know when we've gifted it out. And you'll get that like immediate direct contact, and I'll let you know exactly what we did with that ticket. And maybe I'll be able to connect, I'll see if I can do something cool, like connect. We'll see how many, like, the big numbers get, because I can't do it for like 1,000 people, right? But maybe we can connect you, and I can show pictures of who got the tickets. But we'll definitely appreciate it. It does go to a good cause. I know people are struggling with Christmas, all this stuff, but it's really, it's not going to go to a waste. It's time to give back. It's time to think of others. And we're not quite the opposite of making money on this, I'll assure you. We're putting everything we have into this so that we can give it back to these organizations. And I kind of like that people are like, what is this event now? Because I guarantee after we do it once, people are going to be like, oh, that's the event. They're going to get it. You have to kind of be there and to experience it to know. And we're already building out the event for next year because we have such interest in it and people that want to be involved.
Yeah. So I have to say one thing, I appreciate everyone who's listening right now and joining us on this live stream. And Anthony, thank you for inviting us on too. Yeah. So if you're listening and you're like us, right, you're like, this is like your group, your tribe, why don't you just take the website domain, go to greatamericansummit.com and just share it out at a bare minimum. Like, share it on your social media posts, share it on Facebook. Help us get the word out about this event, especially if you're in Texas. If you can't make it and you want to contribute and you want to help grow this, I call it a movement and a mission. That'd be a really easy way for you to do that, is just to share the website link on your social media profiles. Tell your friends about it. Share it out there. Get the word out. We would really, really appreciate it.
And let me just say, because I actually stopped using the terminology nonprofit or a nonprofit event, because people always think of nonprofit. Well, charities, no. So we have, as Barb talked about, 5 different charities involved. I call it a zero profit event. Once the basic costs are covered, this is straight going. Once we hit that number, it is going to 5 charities. Barb and Dave, if you guys don't know, have been working on this since right at the beginning of the pandemic, pre-pandemic. This is not a money-making venture at all. Actually, it's probably stressing them the heck out, the opposite. But ultimately, when you look at this, it is an event where we can have like-minded people. Nobody is getting money. There is no major profit. I'm not talking about the speakers or whatever. That's a whole different discussion. But the speakers are, for the most part, donating time, their efforts, and everything to be a part of something that can create real change in their country. And I want to be very specific. It is a zero profit event. Now, Barb, while we still have a good viewing audience, we probably should have said this earlier. The speaker list is ridiculously stacked. So do you want to go through some of the speakers? You want me to read some of them off?
Yeah, you can read some of them off. Obviously, we have you. We have Brian. What the fuck? I was going to call you Brian. We have Ryan. I'm sure you've been called worse, Ryan. I love you guys. This is going to be so much fun. And here, there's a lot of full circle moments here for me. And one of them is the fact that Nick Vujicic is going to be speaking at this event. Nick is someone that I studied and I learned from when I decided to put my life back together, and I had to find somebody to study online who I could learn and grow from. And I found him, and I got absorbed in his story and his message. And he didn't even know that he was mentoring me from afar. But I associate him with my ability, my my first like oomph to get myself together and put my life back. And now here he is going to be speaking at our event, which for me is just enormous. Thank you, Sherry, for sharing that out. So Nick Vujicic he's in Texas. And if you don't know who he is an evangelist. Really, he's actually starting his own bank. He's starting his own bank, a pro-life bank, because his bank froze his funds when he started speaking up for pro-life. So he is starting his own bank. Like this, these are the kind of people that are just like, my bank froze me and I'm going to complain about this. I'm just going to go build my own bank, right? Hello. And by the way, he has no arms and legs, but that always comes in last in my story because he's so much more than that, right? So Nick Vujicic, Steve Sims is a real life Wizard of Oz, we call him, and he's a fairly new American citizen, by the way. He's from London. He was born
6 months ago,
raised in a bricklayer's family, and came over here, made great fortune. Bradley, you guys know Bradley,
dropping bombs.
Yeah, dropping bombs with Bradley. He's super cool dude. Just a great story of building up from nothing. And he's got like a kind of rough and gruff attitude that I kind of respond to. Jason Redmond, he's a former Navy SEAL who was wounded in combat and has gone on to just inspire so many people, including me, with the great work he's doing. Larry Broughton, former Special Forces, and he has built this huge hotel industry, and he's taken some major hits now lately with all this, and he's developed even stronger leadership tactics. So he's going to talk about leading through adversity. David Webb from Fox News and Sirius XM. He's so cool. He's been a huge supporter of ours. We got Ryan Weaver.
I can't believe I'm right next to David Webb. Man, holy smokes, I feel honored.
Yeah. And Jakub Buyens is no small thing either, right?
No, I mean, I'm in between two big.
And he does huge things to serve and support and abolish actually human trafficking and support the victims of it. Tony Watley, side hustle millionaire. This guy can teach you literally how to take a community. I don't care if you like reading glasses, right? You like reading glasses. He can teach you how to build a whole community about reading glasses and like build that into millions of people. Like he's awesome, right? Bobby Sausalito, you know, Bobby, like political commentary, satire. He's great. Ian Smith, a New Jersey gym owner who is like he's had war waged upon him by the New Jersey administration.
Pretty much.
Martha
It's Not Just video as well. Ian's in my It's Not Just video.
Yeah, we're going to show that video at the event, Ryan. It's so cool. Martha Krejci is so sweet and cool, and she is so passionate about teaching people their own level of freedom, how to build a life where they can be with their families and build success. And she is just so powerful and impactful when you hear her. Marie Cosgrove endured a lifetime of abuse and overcame that, went on to do great things personally. And by the way, she also bought the company that once fired her. No big deal, right? Ken Clothier is Dave's mentor in real estate investing. He's going to talk about his expertise, but also he had a very powerful moment where he almost lost his life, right? And that changed him, impacted him, and helped him decide it was time to get his own life together. Bedros Keuilian, hello.
Time is now.
Half of these people I would have been scared shitless to be in a room with at one point in my life. Bedros Keuilian fled Armenia when he was younger and came here and struggled really hard and has built this extraordinary life for himself and is teaching others to do the same. Crystal Tini, Ryan, you know her.
She's also in the video.
By the way, she's so cool.
Oh, she's in the video?
Huh?
She's in the video as well. It's Not Just video. Yep.
Oh, yeah. Nice.
You guys can check that out on my Instagram page. Whoever's watching, you can check it out ahead of time if you want.
Yeah, she's great. And we got Ian Wen, Eddie Pinero, Eric Conavalo, Stephen Miller, Mike Fallett. I'm not going to go on and on about, everyone. But
I think we hit most of them.
And our MC, Pat Hilton, and Anthony as well. So I'll get up there for a minute. Tom Verano is this. When he performs, his speed painting in the way that he performs it, you're just gonna be like, what the hell, man? And then he's gonna auction off his paintings and donate everything back to the causes that we're supporting. Yeah. So some really, really great people.
Anthony, can you put that share back on, and we can kind of give a shout out to some of our sponsors as well?
Son of a biscuit. Yeah, give me a split second.
Just say Schmegma again.
Yeah, so we have over a dozen like-minded sponsors. There's going to be hundreds of fellow freedom-loving, patriotic Americans. So we'd love to see you there, and we definitely appreciate everyone who's supporting us and all of our sponsors.
It's coming in hot, ready and action.
Oh, did you see that?
Yeah, there you go. Minutemen Coffee,
Good job, Ryan.
Patriot Mobile, Lead Stacker helped us put together our event website, which is pretty awesome. Effing Simple, Sunflower Bank. Barb mentioned Got Your Back before. Lift Chocolate, former veteran who's
he's a Marine Corps veteran.
Amazing.
He's been on this ride with us for the beginning, by the way.
2 years ago. Yeah.
From the beginning. He's sponsored and he's ridden with us this whole ride out. He's awesome.
Club Footwear, they also fulfill a lot of our apparel that we have at the greatamericansyndicate.com. Larry Broughton, we mentioned, who's speaking. Carrot is a SaaS company for real estate investors. They make real estate investor websites. Dream Starters, that's Mike Fallett, who's published over 200 books for various
including
entrepreneurs.
my recent one, bestseller.
Yeah.
No big deal.
We have Be the Change, yours truly there. EnviroTote, which is an American-made tote company who provided all of our swag bags, which is super cool. Verve, and of course, Ryan mentioned Pat Shops.
Here's the swag bags, by the way. We got the
nice. Those are going to be our swag bags filled with all sorts of cool stuff for our VIP and Patriot Pass members. Yeah. We're going to put Ryan in one of those bags. Someone's going to take him home.
Somebody said shadow ban, which it's so funny. It's weird timing. Let's hope that it goes away in a week. But yeah, there's been a drastic shift in the last 4 days. I'm like, we're doing so good, and then bam.
I know.
But we'll see what happens. I do have a question, Ryan. I want to go to your video. I want to talk about your video real fast. I know we said 30 minutes, and here we are. So I know Chris Pirano. I've met him a couple of times. I saw he was in your burn video.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know Chris pretty well?
I know Chris. I pretty well is a relative term, but I would say, I mean, I've hung out. My concert last year was for his 14th Hour Foundation down in Orlando. Yeah. So I've worked with him on several different, other than the Burn music video where we became, I considered us becoming friends. He's just as good as it gets. He's on point. But yeah, such a great guy. His organization does amazing things, and our Warrior Shield Foundation supports his organization for events all the time too. So
love it.
Yeah.
Well, guys, we are like a month and 5 days out. I'm getting pretty excited. Again, that speaker list is ridiculous. It's just one of those. Let's get the state of Texas. Let's get people involved. If you're close, I know Scott, you said you've got friends, and just stay at your friend's house and then tell them they have to come at the same time. But it'll be a really fun event, guys. And we were talking before. We live in a really great country. We also live in a very sad state of times where you're losing friends. I'm married. Two couples that I married, I don't speak to anymore. I'm an ordained minister for $39.99 online. You can do that. But it's crazy the friends that have been gained and lost. I didn't know Barb before COVID. But it's interesting. And I think part of healing our country is to allow people to see a different side of people they oppose politically and ideologically. And I think an event like this can show that. And even if we don't have a ton of people from our opposing viewpoint, it shows that there is a financial, a business, an emotional, a religious, a way to come together as one side to show that we are not bad people and to use our voice. And that's what I'm excited about.
Me too.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much.
I appreciate you bringing me on.
Yeah. Ryan, any final words, special guest?
I just want to thank Barbara for or Barb. I call her Barbara, but I just want to thank her for putting this together. 2020 killed this whole thing, and I know how much work they put into this to try and get it done the first year. Folks, we're not done. 2022 is a new year, and we're going to start it off the right way. I'm actually going to be speaking on the day before my brother died in Iraq. I can't wait to tell his story. It's going to mean the world to me. Get to perform as well, and I get emotional talking about it. I'm going to be real on stage, and I want you guys to hear what my brother did for this country, or both my brothers did for this country, and we're going to do it right.
Awesome.
Love it. That's a great way to end. Ryan, thank you for your service. Thank your family for your service. Same with Barb. That's a mic drop. So guys, greatamericansummit.com. You see it on the bottom. And again, if you can't come in from another state, sponsor tickets, buy them anyways. And we'll find a way to make sure we give those to the right people that want to be a part of that event.
Yeah,
thank you guys.
There's a donate tab there too, as well, on the Great American Summit.
Absolutely. You guys be safe.
You too. All right. Take it easy, y'all.